Hey everyone, I've been getting tons of questions about Bittensor subnet tokens in my DMs, comments, and emails. So today I'm answering the most common questions I receive about subnet token valuation. I've organized these into the questions I hear most often, from basic, what are these things, and to advanced, how do I avoid getting wrecked? We'll cover everything from comparisons to Bitcoin, to valuation methods, to that scary APY question everyone's afraid to ask. I've got 15 questions lined up that represent probably 90% of what people want to know. If your question isn't covered, drop it in the comments and I'll try to answer there or include it in a future video. Before we dive in, there's a great research piece by Unsupervised Capital that goes deeper into the quantitative side links in the description if you want the full technical analysis after this Q&A. Let's jump right into your questions. Are subnet tokens just Bitcoin with extra steps? Short answer, no, they're completely different animals. Bitcoin is digital money. You buy it, hold it, hope it goes up. Subnet tokens are like buying shares in AI companies, except the companies are decentralized networks of computers providing AI services. Think of it this way. Bitcoin is like owning gold bars. Subnet tokens are like owning shares in Netflix, except Netflix is run by thousands of computers around the world instead of one company. The value depends on whether people actually want to watch the shows, use the AI services. How do I know if a subnet token is overvalued? Great question. I look at three things. Actual usage? Are people really using the AI network? Revenue? Is real money coming in? And token necessity. Does the network actually need its token to function? If a subnet has a $100 million market cap but only $1,000 in monthly revenue, that's a red flag. Compare that to traditional SaaS companies that typically trade at 10-20x annual revenue, not 1000x monthly revenue. Why are there so many different valuation methods for these tokens? Because nobody really knows how to value them yet. We're in the early days of a new asset class. Traditional stock valuation doesn't work perfectly, crypto valuation doesn't work perfectly, so people are trying different approaches. It's like when the internet was new. People tried to value Amazon using traditional retail metrics, but those didn't capture the full picture. We're in a similar experimental phase with subnet tokens. Should I sell my Bitcoin to buy subnet tokens? Whoa, slow down there. These serve different purposes in a portfolio. Bitcoin is your stable, boring digital gold position. Subnet tokens are your high-risk, high-reward startup bets. I'd never recommend going 100% into either. Bitcoin is your foundation. Subnet tokens are your speculation. Maybe 70% Bitcoin, 30% other crypto, including some subnet tokens if you're risk tolerant. How do I compare two similar subnet tokens? I use what I call the restaurant comparison method. Look at customer count, active users, revenue per customer, customer retention, and growth trajectory. Also check the team's track record and community engagement. If two subnets do similar things but one has 10x more daily users and similar market caps, that's interesting. But also ask why. Maybe the cheaper one has better technology that just hasn't been discovered yet. What's the difference between owning subnet tokens and just buying AI stocks like Nvidia? Nvidia makes money regardless of which AI companies succeed. They sell the shovels in the gold rush. Subnet tokens are bets on specific AI networks succeeding. Nvidia's diversified AI exposure. Subnet tokens are concentrated bets. Also, Nvidia is a regulated, profitable company with accounting standards. Subnet tokens are experimental networks with unclear regulations and often minimal revenue. Very different risk profiles. Is 50% APY too good to be true? Usually, yes. The key question is, where does that 50% come from? If it's from real people paying real money to use AI services and that money gets distributed to token holders, that could be sustainable. But if it's from printing new tokens to pay existing stakers, you're just getting paid in inflation. You might have more tokens, but each token is worth less. It's like getting a raise, but everyone else gets the same raise. You are not actually richer. How do I calculate the real APY after accounting for inflation? Good question. Take the nominal APY, subtract the token inflation rate, then subtract any dilution from new token unlocks. If a token offers 40% APY but inflates supply by 35% annually, your real return is maybe 5%. Also factor in price volatility. A 50% APY means nothing if the token price drops 60%. Risk-adjusted returns matter more than headline yields. Should I lock up my tokens for higher APY? Depends on your risk tolerance and market outlook. Locking tokens for higher yields is like buying a CD instead of keeping money in a savings account. You get better returns but sacrifice liquidity. In crypto, liquidity is valuable because things change fast. I generally prefer lower yields with flexibility over higher yields with long lockups, especially in volatile markets. Why do all subnet tokens seem to move together? Because most people treat them as a single category rather than individual investments. When subnet tokens are hot, money flows into all of them. When they're not, money flows out of all of them. This creates opportunities for investors who actually analyze individual projects. Eventually, the market will differentiate between good and bad subnet tokens. But right now, it's mostly trading on sector sentiment. Are we in a subnet token bubble? Probably, yes. I see tokens with billion-dollar valuations but minimal real usage. Classic bubble signs: speculation exceeding fundamentals, retail FOMO, and valuations requiring perfect execution to justify it. That doesn't mean all subnet tokens are bad investments. Bubbles often identify real trends early, but it means being very selective and not paying any price just because something is AI related. How do I know when to sell? Have a plan before you buy. I set targets like sell 20 forward slow, 25% if it 3x, 50% if it 10x. Keep the rest as a moon bag. Also have stop losses for positions that turn against you. Watch for fundamental changes. If usage drops, team members leave, or competitors emerge with better technology, that might be time to reassess your position. How much of my portfolio should be subnet tokens? For most people, very little. These are extremely high-risk investments. I'd suggest no more than 5 to 10% of your total investment portfolio, and only money you can afford to lose completely. Within your crypto allocation, maybe 20-30% in subnet tokens if you're aggressive, but never bet the farm on experimental AI networks, no matter how promising they seem. Should I diversify across multiple subnet tokens or focus on one? Diversify. Most subnet tokens will probably fail, but the few that succeed could return 10 to 100x. Owning 5 to 10 different subnet tokens in various AI verticals gives you better odds of catching a winner. But don't over-diversify either. Owning 50 subnet tokens just means you own a lot of probably worthless tokens. Focus on quality over quantity. What's the most important thing to remember about subnet token investing? Don't let FOMO override your judgment. These are startup-like investments in experimental technology. Most will fail. Position size accordingly, do your homework, and be prepared for extreme volatility. The AI revolution is real, but most subnet tokens are speculation on that revolution rather than direct participation in it. Thanks for all the great questions. Check out that Unsupervised Capital research for deeper analysis, and keep the questions coming in the comments below.